It sounds good.
Hi, everyone. My name is Megan Kowalski, and I'm the Outreach Librarian for the UDC Library. I will be running the logistics for today's event. This is the second to last in our AI webinar series, and we hope you've been able to join us for our previous webinars. But if you've missed any, the recordings are available on our YouTube page as well as our website. Today, our webinar is going to be hosted by my colleague, Chris Anglum.
Okay.
He's going to present the session and then we'll have time for questions at the end, both recorded and unrecorded. But if you have any questions or comments, please go ahead and do drop that in the chat. We will be monitoring it throughout. So take it away, Chris.
Thank you very much, Megan. I'm Chris Anglin. I'm the archivist, university archivist, and reference librarian, and I will do, do the presentation on STOP. You should cite that, cheating, plagiarism, and AI. So we'll go ahead and begin with the presentation. And first, we'll provide an overview. If used properly, AI can accelerate academic progress. AI is a transformative tool in many social and economic sectors, enhancing efficiency, innovation, and user experiences. AI is a powerful tool and can process and analyze an amazing amount of data much faster than humans. This capability enables AI to identify patterns, trends, and insights that would be very difficult or impossible for humans to detect. Therefore, it is a very powerful tool, but it is also one that needs to be used with integrity, and that's what the focus is going to be on today. So choosing the right path in your AI research. So the importance of academic integrity is that we must continue to continually emphasize that academic integrity is crucial, with cheating undermines the academic process and students and educational progress themselves. And while AI can be misused in academic settings for cheating, professors can and should develop strategies to prevent and deter it, and students must learn and internalize the value of academic integrity and understand how cheating harms them and their academic endeavors. So some of the ways that students can use AI for that is totally appropriate are for practice questions. Students can use AI for questions based on assignments or reading methods. This approach does not only reinforce learning, but also prepares students to think critically about their coursework and prepares them for critical thinking, both in university and for their future careers. So so the process, generally speaking, would be that they would, for practice questions, would be that they would input materials such as class notes, textbook chapters, or previous assignments. Many AI platforms do allow for the upload of PDFs or direct text input. They then create questions. Once the materials have been inputted, the AI can generate practice questions. These include basic factual recall to complicated analytical questions. Self-testing would be using the questions from the courses so they can quiz themselves, and then refine and repeat. The more materials that you would put into the AI, the more refined the questions would be. Some also can be used for personalized learning and enhancing engagement. Personalized learning and enhanced engagement includes tailored learning experiences. AI can analyze student data to analyze the data that the students use to identify individual learning styles and needs. This allows for personalized learning paths and content delivery. AI can also be used for increased engagement. AI-powered tools can make learning much more interactive and engaging, potentially leading to better knowledge retention and deeper understanding. AI can also be used for developing crucial skills, problem solving, and critical thinking. AI can be used to create scenarios and challenges that require students to think critically and creatively, developing valuable problem solving. AI can also be used for data analysis and interpretation. Students can learn to analyze data, crucial skills in many fields by using AI tools to explore and interpret information. AI can be taught creatively. the professors can teach their students to do what artificial intelligence AI cannot do. For example, unlike robots, people, you can ask ourselves questions, and this is what students should be trained in. One of the things students should be trained in to know how to ask questions using AI and learn how to critique their own questions, frameworks, and answers generated by AI. Students can also learn with topics and issues of interest and ask ChatGPT, for example, for answers, and then review the answers that they get. Of course, there is widely known that there, in academia and so on, that there's a misuse of AI. Remember that, and one of these is plagiarism. One of the things we continually need to stress is that plagiarism is the stealing of ideas. So when does AI use become academic cheating? Well, AI is an amazingly powerful and time-consuming tool. It can be misused as a tool to cheat. And then we need to be stress the importance with our students of communicating AI use and correct AI citation. The unethical uses of AI is an important issue. If AI is misused by students to complete assignments or write papers, it's unfair to the students who don't cheat, and it also undermines the education and learning process for those who do engage in cheating. Some examples of how AI can be dishonestly used in academic settings are that for dishonest essay writing, AI can be misused to write essays or complete assignments based on prompts that students are used to make. Also, it can be misused in test taking. It can provide answers to test questions either through direct question answering systems or by generating responses based on learned content. It can also be used dishonestly for homework, and whereas AI can be used to answer math questions or provide answers to various topics that students may submit. It's could also be involved the dishonest use of plagiarism detection tool that students may try to paraphrase or rephrase content to avoid plagiarism detection software, making it harder for harder to detect AI created work. And students may also develop cheat sheets to summarize information and try to access unauthorized information for exams using these cheat sheets. So all of these tactics are things that faculty need to be aware of and stress that with students that they are the ones who suffer. The ones who cheat are the ones who suffer probably the most because they are not really learning the material that they should be learning. Some of the other concerns with AI in academic settings include privacy and security issues, bias in algorithms that can affect educational outcomes for our students, the potential to rely excessively on technology at the expense of teacher-student interactions, and the cost associated with implementing and maintaining AI technologies in academic settings. In preparing for the students for the future in future skills, some of the things that we should stress and make a part of many of our classes where it's appropriate would be AI literacy. Students with AI literacy are prepared for a future in which AI will play an increasingly important role in various professions, industries, and aspects of life. AI competencies are things that employers want employees to have, but to be as proficient with AI competencies as possible. Students who are proficient at using AI tools will be better positioned for future job opportunities. Also, AI can be used to inspire students to become more innovative and more creative, to generate ideas and solutions, fostering creativity and innovation. These are essential skills in a hyper-competitive market of today and in the future. So some of the guidelines for AI use, some of the ones that I looked at were at places like Georgetown University. They have some very extensive AI guidelines for when AI can be used, how it should be cited, and so and so on. So those are the ones that I'm very familiar with, and the ones that I would be conversant with as well, and 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 certainly willing to discuss. So, in terms of citing AI or in citation for AI, so what is all the fuss about citations for AI? Very similar to what uh, the value of citations are for printed material or other types of materials. You need to citations are a way of pretty much mandatory way of giving credit when certain material in your book when your work came from another source. This is both a direct and indirect citing. Citations also give your readers the information necessary to find that source. Citations also provide an important roadmap in your research process. Proper citations also indicate that you when correctly done, also give you academic credibility and show that you are an emerging scholar, that you know the material, and that you understand what you need to cite, what sources you need to go through, that you're an expert or emerging expert in research. So, in there's recently been guidelines on properly citing AI and APA and format and other formats, Chicago Manual Style, MLA, and so on. We'll focus on APA as that's the format that I use the most in the classes that I teach and visit. So to cite AI generated content in APA form, use the AI tools company or creator as the author, the AI tool name as the title, and include the year of the content's generation, along with the URL where the content was generated. In properly citing AI in your work, this example is from Purdue OWL. API, you have the author, the date, title, month, day version, additional description. The author is the author of the model. The year is the year of the version. The title is name of the model. The version number is included after the title in parentheses. The bracketed text contains the references for additional description. The source given when the publisher and author names are identical. You omit the publisher name in the source and then in the element of the reference, and then proceed directly to the URL. So, and then we followed here is a reference from Purdue OWL. So, in properly citing AI in your work from Purdue OWL, again, follow the APA format. Basic format would be author, year, followed by title, followed by type of a generative AI. Then you have the reference entry, open AI for in-text citation. You would include the company creator of the AI tool, the year of the content generation in parentheses, similar to how you cite the software. So you would have APA in-text citation, and then colon open AI, and then comma 2023, and you would have that enclosed in parentheses. And then we have, and so that would be my presentation. And are we, are there any questions that I can answer about my brief presentation?
Waiting to see if anything comes in. Thank you, Jacob, for sharing all of that material in the chat. I'm not seeing anything in yet, but if you do have questions, please go ahead and pop them in the chat or feel free to unmute yourself.
Hello, Chris.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, turn it in.
Let me turn this up a little bit. Okay.
Turnitin app, Turnitin, to check a full manuscript for plagiarism. Where do I find that in the at udc.edu? Turnitin app for checking plagiarism for manuscripts.
Okay, for manuscripts, you some of the ways that you can check for manuscripts. There was a you're talking about for plagiarism?
Yeah, in Blackboard, we have the Turnitin to check student present papers.
Okay.
But I'm talking about checking an independent manuscript, which not in a Blackboard course. Let's say somebody writes a manuscript, and I want to check for plagiarism. How do I use the Turnitin app?
I would to check the manuscript. Say if you were reviewing a manuscript for if you were an editor and wanted to check to see if there was any plagiarism in a manuscript, I would use Turnitin or one of the tools recommended by CAL to check for plagiarism. That would be the best and most authoritative way that I think of doing it. Certainly, you can try using a tool like Grammarly, but for something as important as this, for checking a manuscript for publication, I would work with Cal to see if you can get it analyzed through Turnitin.
Yeah,
That's what I'm asking. Where do I find Turnitin?
I would contact Cal for that, Dr. Chinta. I believe we might only have access to it through Blackboard, but you can check
Yeah,
with Cal Fatma's office. She might know. I do want to send caution about using these sorts of checkers, simply because they are trained on the work that they are checking. So their error rate tends to be pretty high. I'm sharing a gift link from an article from The Atlantic where a well-known scholar does these plagiarism checkers on his own work, and he talks about the process, about what he uncovered with that. So I'm not saying don't use these apps. They do have a valuable tool, but just know they are pretty fallible.
No, we know that, but I'm trying to ask you a specific question. At udc.edu, what tool
I would
is
say
available for, yeah, that's my question. Yeah.
so check with the Center for the Advancement of Learning, the CAL team. They would know more about this specific tool, because I do believe we might only have the version of it that is built into Blackboard. I do not know
yeah.
if our institutional subscription allows for independent checking of manuscripts and works not associated with a specific class.
I concur with that, and as far as I know, that's the only tool that we have for this purpose. Only a authoritative tool that I would recommend. Again, we want to be very careful about checking for plagiarism, and Turnitin is the only tool that I'm aware of. But I would reach out to Padma and ask for her assistance in this.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? All right, not seeing anything come in. I do want to say thank you. We do have 2 more events coming up. On April 10th, we're having an AI tasting event where we're letting you sample 3 specific AI tools in a workshop. So we do hope you join us for that. That's going to be at the UDC library in person from 1 to 3 p.m. on April 10th. Thank you, Jacob, for dropping the link to that in the chat. And we also have one more webinar coming up in our series on, I believe it is March or April 18th. Oh no, I'm sorry, April 11th, where we are looking at the ethics of using AI, because there are a lot of ethics to how they were created, how they are used, and the output that they make. So would love for you to join us for either or both of those events. So again, thank you for joining us today. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording to see if there are any questions people would like to ask unrecorded.